Introducing to you first the title holder on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing purple trunks with white and red trim, representing his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at 217 pounds, and with a record of 36 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, he has 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, the former undisputed heavyweight world champion, and the current WBA and IBF heavyweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome boxing's proud warrior, introducing Evander, the real deal, Holyfield. And his opponent across the ring, the other title holder on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with red trim, the big man from London, England. He weighed in at 242 pounds. The 1988 Olympic gold medalist has a professional record of 34 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 27 big knockouts to his credit. Tonight, attempting to become the first British heavyweight in 100 years to capture the undisputed title, here is the hard-hitting and current WBC heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Lennox. Is our referee in charge.
All right, gentlemen, this will be clean. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Any questions? Touch gloves. Good luck. Let's go. Touch gloves.
Are we about to see the sad death of a great king, or yet another of his resurrections?
It was a late arriving crowd, but the rafters are now packed. 19,000 plus in the Thomas and Mack Center. An audience around the world hoping and praying, as they did back in March, for a conclusive definition of the identity of the heavyweight champ. And as they clear Lewis's corner and the British fans begin already to chant soccer style, it seems to be a crowd almost evenly distributed in its passion. Just about half for Lewis and half for Holyfield. We should have drama tonight.
Already you can see Holyfield trying to get closer to Lewis right from the get-go.
Now he's beat him to the jab. Holyfield has said he would try to establish the left jab. He did.
And Lewis fires a rare left hook. Lewis beginning already to paw a little bit with the jab, trying to establish the range between himself and Holyfield.
Now, if Evander want to really land that left jab, he's got to make contact with Lewis's left foot, and then as soon as he make contact, jabbed in. If he's not made contact, don't try it.
Where is the ideal range for Evander, George? Is it right up in Lennox's chest, or is it a medium zone?
You got to be a medium. You're right there. Touch his foot and don't go any closer because you don't want him backing away. Just stay that distance. Lennox got to make sure he keeps him on the outside. Evander is bobbing, but he's not weaving. He's going to one side, and he stays there.
Holyfield misses with a left hook. Lewis counters over the top with the right hand. Evander trying to project more sheer energy than was the case in New York, and whacking away at Lewis on the inside. Something he didn't get many chances to do in Madison Square Garden.
Now for Evander, all of these close-range contacts he's making is better for him. You don't want to keep this fight at long reach.
Evander pounds to the body as Lewis is backed up into a corner already. Alfredo has had to work a lot harder in round 1 here than he did in 12 rounds of Trinidad de la Hoya.
Break. Certainly Holyfield is working harder in this first round than he did in the last one.
You know, he was able to get in one good left jab, and that gives him confidence. can't start reaching at this point. You got to let the fight come to you if you're Evander Holyfield.
And Holyfield reached with the right hand, and Lewis touched him up inside with a little right uppercut as the result. But already, Don Turner is yelling at Evander from his corner. He doesn't want to fight. Yelling at Evander to try to let him know that he thinks Lewis is timid and that Evander can take command.
Evander did something very smart. He jabbed Lennox Lewis right in the chest. Right in the chest.
And a double jab there by Holyfield. Off the round one results, you get the impression it's a better Holyfield already than was the case in New York.
Lennox Lewis has got to keep his reluctancy that he had in the original bout. He wasn't overconfident. He just used his jab. Let the right hand flow.
Lewis trying to drop the right hand in on top of the left jab.
Go home. Break, step back easy.
Holyfield partially blocking it with the left glove.
The more minutes that Evander Holyfield stay close to Lennox Lewis, the better.
Right on. He's leaning back. Don't go straight in. Always on that. Give him a little feint first.
A little water? Because he's wide open for underneath shots. Instead of trying to chop over top, touch him and starts trying to rip him underneath, and you're tying him up perfectly. Okay.
Man, get that jab going. Get the jab.
His head is coming. Well, everybody, the whole crowd is into his head about the night. So when you got the whole crowd is into it. You got the mouthpiece? Mouthpiece.
I got mouthpiece. Get that jab going, man. Get the jab going. Let him control it. Control it with the jab.
Holyfield with the CompuBox edge in jabs in the first round, landing 8 to Lewis's 3. Lennox wasn't really snapping the jab as he did early in the fight in New York. Now he sticks it out there with a little bit more authority to start round number 2. But Holyfield comes back, and you see Holyfield listening to Don Turner's instruction. Throw the jab twice when you throw it. Double up.
Well, he wanted him to throw the jab twice because if he misses, Lewis is not able to hit him with a jab. So you throw 2 to make the big man back up. If you miss him, you at least back up.
Hard punch by Lewis inside.
Stop punching. Let go. Keep it clean.
The question is whether Holyfield trying to come in is on a suicide mission, or is he going to get to Lewis?
Evander's reaching out, pawing already. That's what he shouldn't be doing. He should be throwing uppercuts to Lennox Lewis, elbows, uppercuts to his chest.
And Lewis, who said he would be conscious of trying to be aggressive and take advantage of knockout opportunities, is trying to load the right hand. Probably not a good idea for him.
Well, he's like Larry said earlier. He threw a lot of good right hands in the first fight, but they were nothing that hit him square right, hit Evander square in the middle of the face. Always on the side of the head.
Step back. Step back. Step back.
This fight, Lewis got to concentrate on going right down the middle with that right hand.
Uppercut by Lewis as Evander jumps in with the jab. Lewis double jab.
That's what you don't want at this part of the fight, is allowing Lewis to get confident with his left jab.
You, if you're Holyfield, you mean?
Yeah, if you're Holyfield, you don't want him to get confidence with that left jab. He's dropping his left hand, make him do it lower by hitting him in the body a time or 2.
Turner asked Holyfield to throw the overhand right. Evander hasn't released it. Lewis has released his right hand aggressively 3 times in this round.
When Evander throws the overhand right, he has to make contact with the left hand first.
Left hook to the body, one of Holyfield's better weapons over the years.
Step back easy, step back.
You know, Holyfield's brain trust wanted him to have twice the activity of the first fight. He hasn't shown that kind of energy yet.
Now, the Everlast gloves are not bad. When Holyfield puts his hand behind his ear, he still have a little extra padding. The Everlast glove suits him better. You're not going to see a good, clean knockout with them, but they really act as good padding for blocking shots.
In his great rematch performances in the past, Evander Holyfield was able to throw a lot of punches in situations where he could attack.
Now Lewis got Holyfield's got Lewis dropping his hand, looking. Now Holyfield has the advantage. He can throw his jab now.
But his punch count is dropping off again, George. He's just not releasing his hands and throwing as much as he needs to be the aggressor.
Yeah, he's dropping his hand. That means you can beat him to the punch because the big guy has to bring him up and throw.
That round looked much like the rounds in the first fight.
Speed's the name of the game.
Don't hesitate, champ. Give me some Vaseline. Straight.
Here. Don't get flat-footed. Need more?
No. Give me some water.
Holyfield throwing many more punches than in the first 2 rounds, but still fewer than 30 punches per round.
To the chest,
Not enough.
To the shoulder, takes his right hand away. They're trying to hit you with a right uppercut.
Inside, watch Lewis come up with a nice uppercut. Later on, good body shots by Holyfield.
But overall CompuBox numbers in round 2, Holyfield 6 out of 24, Lewis 13 out of 47, including 9 of 30 jabs. Those numbers, as you said, Larry, very much like what we saw throughout the fight in New York.
I could be mistaken about this, but Holyfield in his corner looks weary somehow. I don't see any energy. His body language is not lively. That could change, you know, in 5 seconds. But that's the impression one gets from him.
And now, just as was the case in New York, Lennox Lewis able to stick the jab in Holyfield's face repeatedly and start to set up power shots. Uppercut landed again.
It's to Evander's advantage if Lewis continues to throw these uppercuts because he drops his knees. He bends his knees to throw his uppercut.
But he's got to get off, George. He's just not getting off.
As soon as he bends, Holyfield's got to jump in with a left hook. Let me tell you, he can buy something tonight. Doesn't matter if you hit him or not, just jump in with a left hook.
Lewis backs into a corner on his own and then ties Holyfield up momentarily. Halpern separates them. Lewis walks out of the corner. Lewis lands a little left hook.
And combinations. Now this is unusual for Lewis to be the better combination puncher.
Now there's a triple jab from Holyfield and he sticks with it. That's one thing you said before the fight, George. If he gets into punching range, he's got to stay there and try to do some work.
And don't allow this guy to get the distance again.
Right hand lands on a counter for Lewis.
One of the things that Holyfield observed after the first fight was that Lewis was punching, as he put it, at the target instead of through the target, meaning he wasn't loading up for big punches, and that doesn't give him time to reply as he would like.
Well, that's part of Lewis's basic cautiousness.
Now Holyfield was able to get in some good body shots here and there. This fight goes into the 7th round. That can change things too. He was able to jab Lennox Lewis in the chest. He didn't do that last time.
So you're suggesting that you like a lot of what Evander's doing so
I like
far,
a lot of what he's doing. He's invested in the body, even jab to the chest. I don't like him standing there getting those jabs, but when he's not in range, get all the way out of the range, which he should be doing.
When you fought Holyfield, did you feel like he had effective head movement against your jab, George?
It's a long, long time ago.
Yeah, that's right. Much has changed in the 8 years since April 9, 1991.
That's why I named all my boys George, so I wouldn't have to remember him.
Hard right hand by Holyfield. Cleanest punch of the bout so far.
And Lewis is getting in the kind of fight that Holyfield can benefit by. Standing close, trying to hit him back for hitting you. Don't do that if you're Lewis. Lewis is bending down.
And Holyfield landed the left hook.
Bending down.
Round 3 had some moments for Evander.
You got to just keep it back on your jab. You get lazy, don't let him get too close. Keep it back at the zone where you want to just relax. But you got to catch it with some shots from underneath here. Everything you're shooting is over top. Okay? You got to get some shots from underneath. Get him back on the jab and keep him out there, but come with something underneath too. Okay? You got to get some respect. You got to take it to him a little bit. Okay? You got to keep it right hand up. Change speed.
In the middle of the round, Holyfield lands a long right hand, no power on it because Lewis was backing up. But later on in the round, he did land a cleaner punch. Grazing punch there.
So So there was some excitement in the third for Holyfield fans, but still, overall CompuBox numbers, Lewis threw more and landed more. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
I don't know, Jim. Evander Holyfield, I thought did enough to win the third round. He got inside, he wrapped him a couple of times real good. 2-1, 29-28, Lennox Lewis. Lennox looked real good with the jab. He was busier in the first 2. Evander, the good shots in round 3. So I gave him the third round, 2 rounds to 1, Lewis.
Don Turner asked his fighter to go inside in this round. That's Evander Holyfield. So Turner apparently liked some of what he saw in round number 3. Another big right hand for Holyfield as Lewis misses with a left.
And Lewis want to keep this fight at distance. You don't want to get it close. Lewis's corner told him to step up and take the fight to him. I wouldn't do that at this point. Keep this thing at range as long as you can.
Oh, it's a man sport, George. Let them go in and bust each other a little bit.
Yeah, but the bigger guy, he looks bigger, but he's not all that big inside. He's a tall guy. When you see a good jab like that, that means that he doesn't like mixing it up.
Now, you pointed out that Lennox was bending forward in the last round. Why would he do that?
It was the first round that Holyfield made contact of equal range with him in height. Lewis started to bend down looking for that uppercut. I guess you go into training and you start thinking, I could have knocked him out if I had done this. But forget about that. Go back to what you did.
When Riddick Bowe, a taller man, leaned forward and agreed to exchange with Holyfield, Holyfield got chances to look good. In New York, Lennox Lewis simply wouldn't do that.
Now, every time that Evander gets close, he has to dive in. That's why they clinch. He's jumping in because of the distance. He can't get it.
And Lewis goes back to popping the jab in Holyfield's face.
And he can do that for about 2 or 3 rounds. You need not try to mix it up.
Lewis holding his left hand below his waist, inviting Holyfield to jab. Holyfield leaving the opportunity alone for the moment. Right hand over the top by Lewis. And Holyfield pounds to the ribcage as Lewis holds his arm.
Now, I haven't seen Evander do anything in this round, and we're 2 minutes and 15 seconds into it.
Lewis hasn't done a whole lot. He sits there and waits for 1 punch at a time.
Well, he's landed maybe 15 or 17 jabs.
Jabs score. Evander lands a right. Lewis lands a little right in return.
Lewis gets lazy and Evander Holyfield gets closer.
And Evander again jabbing to the body, something he did not try to do in the first fight.
Oh, I'm telling you, and it's paying off great dividends. Ooh, that right hand on the side of the head hurt.
Kind of slid past Evander's ear, though. Yeah. 4 rounds in the books. A couple of them tough rounds to score.
I know it's not, but it's out there. He do something big near the end of the round and excites the crowd.
He's trying to steal it.
Okay, he's trying to steal around it. But what you got to do, you got to take some aggressive stuff at it with some big shots without going over the top. Yeah. We keep telling you, come in underneath on the shot first. Even a simple jab, left uppercut, right hand would work. But come from underneath, you're doing everything over top. If you would really focus on your right hand and sit down and shoot the right hand straight, you could catch it with right hands. But you're trying to shoot your right hands too high. Slow down, get the right hand down here, shoot it short, and try to straight, you tighten up, okay?
Should you get around that, let go with the right hand.
Stay in your rhythm now.
Close your eyes and listen.
Stay close. When you get in close.
Don't go flat-footed now. Mouthpiece, don't go flat-footed.
Double jab, double jab, double jab.
Once again in round 4, Evander Holyfield only threw 30 punches. Lewis 49. But halfway through the between-round period, you saw the graphic that indicated Lewis has landed half as many jabs in the first 4 rounds here as he did in New York. So Holyfield, though not doing much more statistically than in New York, is much more in the fight here early on.
You know what? Good left hook.
Solid left hook by Holyfield. And Holyfield grinning as Lewis lands a big right hand. Both fighters have landed a big power shot in this round. And Halpern telling Holyfield to watch his head as Lewis goes under and then over with the right hand and almost throws Holyfield over the top rope.
Just keep this clean. You understand me?
And there's a cut
on this corner.
along the right side.
of Lewis's eye. He's not even aware of it.
It doesn't look dangerous, but you never know.
More an abrasion than a cut, according to Flip Omansky, the doctor. Lewis wasn't aware of it. The blood does start to trickle outside his right eye as he goes back to the uppercut and busts Holyfield again. Lewis thinks he's got Holyfield going with these right hands.
Get back easy, hey. Let's go.
British fans chanting for their man.
Lewis better get his hands up. Holyfield is doing a good job. Whenever he's close, he throws something. When the fighter's away, he doesn't do anything. When you're close, throw shots.
Lewis hasn't had his hands up for 8 years, George. He loves to fight this way, as do so many modern fighters.
And he's doing something he didn't do before. He's leaning forward a little bit, trying to get that uppercut.
Absolutely. He thinks he's got Holyfield going with his big right hand connects.
Holyfield is landing good left hooks.
Absolutely. 2 in this round. And the blood is flowing from Lewis's right eye. Outside the eye, as you can see, outside the orbital bone. Holyfield trying to make it a brawl. That would be to his advantage.
That's right. You want to keep it a brawl and make that big man keep. And the good thing about this, I didn't mention, Lewis has his cup a little lower. That's why Evander is able to go down and jab and hit him in the body a little better this time.
Good point, George. Big difference in the position of the protective cup. Lennox going to work with the uppercut again. Every time he does, he brings his head into buttable range for Holyfield.
Not only that, he gets himself in the range of getting hit himself.
Well, despite the blood, so far it's been a big round for Lewis.
Holyfield has got Lewis coming forward. That's what you want him to do. That's the only way you can bob and weave. You can't go forward bobbing and weaving.
But again, Evander goes 20, 30 seconds without throwing a punch, George. He's got to be more active.
Lewis goes to the body a little bit.
And Lewis looking to the body.
And then going up.
Look at me. All you got to do is get a little bit closer. A little bit closer.
That right hand is shooting just the way you're shooting it, not that high. Shoot it straight inside. Catch it with that short right hand, okay? Your right hand is the key right now behind your left shot. The uppercut is good because it's getting his attention, but keep shooting the right hand. You shoot them right, but shoot them low. Don't shoot them high. Just what you're doing, banging out the keep shutting in there. Shoot them real straight, real short.
Cut is nothing.
It's a good round for you.
Lennox Lewis's cut man, Al Gavin out of New York, is as good as anybody in the sport. Larry?
Leaping left. Right in here is where Holyfield and Lewis clashed heads. Lewis came out with a trickle of blood.
Round 6 of a scheduled 12.
Now that cut isn't so bad, but it sure does chink the what you call it, the shield of confidence.
Well, it gives Lewis something to think about, right?
And you don't want to be doing that when you go back to the corner. You want to think about how I'm going to get him the next round, not how blood is flowing. Holyfield has got his jab going better this time.
Holyfield averaging exactly 30 punches per round through the first 5. That's the same level of inactivity that hurt him in New York.
Good left jabs by Evander Holyfield.
He is making his punches count more tonight.
Going to the body. Going to the chest again.
And knocking Lewis off balance and knocking him
back. Going to the chest again. You cannot be allowed to be hit in the chest as a heavyweight.
Why, George?
It's just like someone taking sticking a syringe and just sucking all of your energy from you. And so many young fighters don't even understand that, so they allow guys to do it.
And now Holyfield goes upstairs with the jab. Evander's off to a positive start in round 6, commanding the first minute of the round with his jab. And Lewis has dropped into a stretch of inactivity himself.
Looking for a knockout. He trained for a knockout. Now he doesn't have no idea how to get back and get this thing in control.
Right hand by Lewis. Holyfield getting the guard up.
Oh, my goodness.
Why did Lewis do that?
Frustrated.
And the Boo Birds come out in the crowd. They want to see more activity.
Lewis thought all he would have to do is come out here, and it was all his for the taking. He had no idea he would have to fight for this title. That's what it's gotten to be. It's gotten
So
to
you
fight.
think Lennox Lewis was that totally complacent coming into this fight?
Oh, no, everybody told him, you won this fight. You should have knocked him out. And he forgot about it. He won it by good tactics. He had a good strategy going.
Well, so many times in Evander Holyfield's career, it's been easy to be misled into believing that
those jabs to the chest, one after another. And I'm telling you, a knockout could follow those kind of punches. All he has to do, Evander, now is get in one left hook to the chin. This could be over.
Lewis headhunting in this round, concentrating on long right hands to Holyfield's head. Evander working to Lewis's body and stepping up the activity level in this round.
Lewis is waiting and he's complaining.
I don't think that Holyfield's offense is bothering Lewis. It's the fact that he's harder to hit than he was in the first fight.
Oh, his offense is bothering him greatly. He's hitting him in the body, in the chest, things he didn't do last time.
Do not get flat-footed. Beautiful work. Get in close. Keep your arms close. Close. That's why he got to reach around you to hold you. And when he reach around you, let go with a combination. And roll out. Then you hit him with the left hook.
Holding on to too much shit, let it go. And I keep shooting the damn right hand straight. Those short right hands, I don't care if they miss, keep shooting them. Even if they go over the top of his head, it's wearing him down to tying him because you're so big. But you just cut off completely. It's the same way you lost some other one and get your ass in trouble on the damn scorecard because you're not fighting. It's not that he's doing nothing. He's doing better than you. You're waiting too damn much.
All right.
Let the shots go.
Right now.
And back with the jab, too.
Crazy moving and buff, right or left and throw your
Stay off the ropes.
Right now, Lewis says, let's see if it's right now.
Round 7 of the scheduled 12.
Lewis played around and waited around too long, and he turned this thing into a fight. He didn't need to be in the fight.
And that was what Lennox Lewis was talking about, I guess, when he said right now, uppercut lands with thunder. Quickly, Harold Letterman, how you got it through 6?
4 rounds to 2, 58-56, Lennox Lewis. I gave Evander Holyfield a 6th round because he was busier. There's no question, Lennox didn't punch, but he's punching this round.
Now Lennox fires the uppercut and throws Holyfield off and lands the uppercut again. He's just waiting on that uppercut now. Buster Douglas got himself knocked out against Evander Holyfield trying to land an uppercut from distance.
Evander is staying there in the pocket, weathering the storm, and anything that he can get in after the storm, he takes it. Lewis should be jabbing and making this a fight.
They both land uppercuts there. Holyfield with the right hand and Lewis with his own right hand.
Well,
big left hook by Holyfield.
They're head to head now, head to head.
Lewis is hurt. Now Lewis smiles as Holyfield comes in. Holyfield thinks he's got a target.
It was a left hook inside that hurt Lewis.
It was a big one. That left hook partially blocked by Lewis's right hand. Lennox leans against the ropes himself. Holyfield working the body. Lewis has decided that the uppercut is his bread and butter. Keeps coming back to it.
Lewis has no idea the effect of those jabs to the body and to the chest. It's taken on him. He has no idea.
Evander Holyfield with a better plan tonight. A little bit more energy. Not that big a difference, but enough to make it much more of a fight. And that's what
body shot hurt. That body shot hurt. Evander Holyfield landed a good body shot, and it hurt Lewis.
Hard left hook by Holyfield. Lewis stunned again. Lewis stands in. Holyfield fires back with the left hook. Holyfield, the quicker fighter, through the last minute and a half of round 7. Lewis almost casual with the uppercut. Big target there for Holyfield.
Emmanuel Stewart told him to go out and get at Holyfield, and this is the result. But here comes Lewis now.
Lewis rallying again. Combinations. Hard right hand by Holyfield. Lewis to the body. His own right hand lands flush. They trade shots at close range. Round 7, the best round. These two fighters have fought against each other in 2 fights. That's heavyweight excitement.
How you feeling? Well, you gotta take your round. You gotta pick it up. Keep it taking the time now, okay? Keep taking the time.
You don't want to angle.
I got it.
Hold on.
What the referee about his head?
He's not gonna say nothing about his head. You forget that.
Cover his punches and work on him inside.
Early in the round, that left hook apparently discombobulated Lewis for a few seconds. He's holding on here. Later in the round, once again, Lewis coming back in the last 20 seconds of the round. And you heard Emmanuel Stewart still thinks that the best fight for Lewis is to engage Holyfield right in the middle of the ring.
CompuBox numbers in round 7 virtually even. Lewis 20 of 39, Holyfield 21 out of 45. Letterman, as you saw, gave the round to Holyfield, probably because of the big left hook shots. Right hand lands for Lewis. Holyfield much more engaged, looking much more confident than at any point in New York. Lewis obviously much more conscious of wanting to knock his man out tonight, and therefore creating opportunities for Evander.
Lewis is looking strictly for a knockout. Evander Holyfield now, all he has to do is play off of that counter punch.
Whoa. Come on, step back.
Pull it on home.
Let's go.
Every landed punch but one in round 7 was a power shot.
There's that left jab to the body by Holyfield again. Left hook upstairs now.
Another left hook, and Lewis backs up and ducks, fires a right hand back, and goes to the body. Finally, Lewis begins to exercise the wisdom in trying to get to Holyfield's body and take some of the sap out of those punches.
Lewis is totally leaning forward now. He is into trouble. If only Holyfield could just muster up a little energy to throw a couple hooks.
This is the Lennox Lewis who fought Ray Mercer in Madison Square Garden. Tactically wrong, engaging in warfare, and trying to rise to the occasion against a fighter who likes to fight this way.
He has made up his mind, Lewis has, that he's going to fight.
Lewis getting smarter and going to the body.
Gotta land some punches to the body.
Where's the jab with which Lewis dominated the first fight? George did. Evander take it away with those jabs to the chest?
Yes, he did. Certainly did. Sucked that juice all out of that left jab. Now he's got a fighter the same size as him.
And it looks from time to time that Lewis is a tired fighter. When he went 10 rounds fighting this style against Mercer in Madison Square Garden, he was totally exhausted at the end.
Yep, and it was because of those body punches. And the bringing of that cup, that protective cup has been lowered. Holyfield got a green light to get down low.
So it's a much more even fight. But despite everything we're saying, Lewis has landed some shots in this round and may in fact be winning the round.
Let go, break, step, I'm in here.
He's got his hands low. Holyfield couldn't miss if he just jumped in a Floyd Patterson left hook.
Which he did right there.
Jump in.
Their heads come together again, and Lewis produces some good infighting as he drives Evander back to the ropes. Evander trying to flurry at the end of the round. Lewis blunted him there.
I don't know if they're getting it right this time, but they're certainly getting it right turn.
It's on your feet.
Come on.
Breathe deep.
Come on. Tim, you gotta cool him off. Put it on his head. Put it on his head.
He's just weak. He's falling all over the place, but you're not pushing. Plenty of stiff jabs. You got to take it down and stretch that. We can't fuck around with no more of these rounds, man. The fight is close. The fight is definitely close. Okay, you got to take it to him. Push the jab. Push the jab hard. As like you said, push off on the right foot. Make sure you move his whole body with the jab. And then when you shoot that right hand, shoot it short. You're going to hit him with the right hand, but shoot it short. Just but throw it.
When you're outside, make sure you're far enough where it can't hit you. When you move inside, move in quick. Move in quick. Quick first step.
Time to work, Holmes.
Lennox Lewis asked by Emmanuel Stewart to resurrect his jab. Stewart, as a trainer, has never lost a heavyweight title fight. Lennox Lewis has never knocked an opponent out past the 8th round. Holyfield has, and he goes for one here.
Holyfield was able to get in a double jab here, double jab there, make the guy wait for it, and then come over top with a right hand. He was able to do it great. That's the old boxing style.
I like what Lewis is doing to Holyfield's body. He's equalizing the momentum somewhat with that body attack. Stewart asking Lewis to try to set up a right hand with the jab.
Lewis just seems to need too much room to get his jab going.
Let go, break, step back.
You should jab, don't wait to get in distance.
Lennox goes back to the uppercut. Evander whacks to the body again.
I'm in here.
Holyfield's eyes are clear. Not so with Lewis.
Holyfield looks like the fresher fighter. Lennox is still throwing more punches.
Lewis better keep his head up.
When Lewis was exhausted and in trouble against Mercer in Madison Square Garden in a very similar fight,
a good left hook to the body by Evander Holyfield.
The Englishman showed courage and heart in the 10th round to end the fight. Holyfield stepping it up again with that double pumping jab inside.
Lewis jabs is a different fight, but when he stands there and wait for a big punch, Evander takes over.
Left hook to the body by Lewis. You don't see that very often.
He's going to have to do a lot of that.
It's not usually a weapon in his arsenal.
Let go, step back. I'm in here.
Got to admit that Evander's been in with a lot of giants, and he's never backed down from a one.
Well, Evander Holyfield won't back down from anybody. Uppercut lands for Lewis. Holyfield misses the left hook. Lewis lands the uppercut again.
Holyfield might be hurt right here.
But will Lewis take advantage of it?
Multiple punches for Lewis. Holyfield not throwing back. Fires the right and drives Lewis into the ropes. Lennox goes back to the body and the uppercut. Thrashing Holyfield with power shots. Holyfield's going to try to flurry again to convince the judges he's won the round. It's a smart professional thing to do.
Holyfield is an excellent boxer. Knows what to do and when to do it.
Lewis got in a last shot, so Holyfield decided to fire a left hook after the bell.
Cool him down.
Look at your head. Here you go.
You can't
Rub his low back. Rub his back with eyes and eyes.
You can't pull straight back.
It's a jab this round here now. Use it. That was yours. You won it, but that uppercut over here is what pulled it out, really. But use your damn jab this round. He's tired. Make him down.
Now let's see if we can catch that uppercut that hurt Holyfield right there. Lewis, big uppercut. Lewis trying to follow up.
If he'd had a left hook to follow with.
I have a question for you, George. When Lewis goes in and battles him, you say he should jab. When he doesn't battle him, you suggest he doesn't have the gumption or the courage to stand with him. Now, which is it? Because in the last few rounds, he stood right with Holyfield and gone. I mean, this is a common thing we hear about Lewis.
The one thing about Evander, when he protects himself, he puts his arm all the way behind his ear, so that's why he's able to get caught with uppercuts straight up the middle. Always put it behind his ear.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 9? 6'3" or 5'4"?
No, 6'3", 87-84, Lennox Lewis. I give Evander Holyfield around 6 and 7. He is making it close, but I got to tell you something, Jim. Judges very often look at a fighter's physical appearance, especially in close rounds. Evander looks like he's fresh, and in certain rounds, Lennox looks like he's dying. And that's what fools the judges. There's no question Lennox will land more punches and lose rounds because that mouth is wide open.
It's an interesting point, Harold, because I observed before that Holyfield looked weary in the corner between rounds, and he does. But when he gets out here, he doesn't look weary, and that's where it counts.
Well, that's an exercise of will. 6'3" on Letterman's card. I'll bet you anything. There's at least one judge at ringside who has Holyfield ahead in the fight.
But I can tell you this, Larry, Lewis should not engage into these exchanges. It's no good. He doesn't need it. He has the reach. But Evander Holyfield, this benefits him. He should try to create as much of this as he can.
But he just landed another big right uppercut.
And then you say, George, that he doesn't have it inside when he does that.
No, he doesn't have it inside. That's why he shouldn't do it.
Straight right hand lands for Lewis. Evander not throwing right now. Lewis with 2 body shots. And Evander's left hook upstairs was blocked by Lewis, who looks tired, but still has the energy to fire the 2 body shots and block the left hand.
That's the good thing about training. Whenever Lewis moves to Evander's left, Evander can't get anything off. He just goes to his left, nothing.
Left hook lands for Lewis.
Oh boy, that was some good clean left hook. I don't think it did a lot of damage, but it just landed. You know, earlier we've talked about the 4 pounds Lewis took off for this fight from the last fight, which indicates that he had trained hard. Well, he's going to need that kind of conditioning to get through these last
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
He's moving to Evander's left,
and that's where it will pay off. If indeed that was an indication of his best conditioning.
Evander Holyfield didn't throw many punches in this 10th round.
We gonna win these 2 goddamn rounds.
You're winning. Get that damn jab to working, baby. You get your jab to working and try them little short, straight right hand. But at least you shoot the right hand and hook behind it. What you need to do in your best punch, whenever you make your little fade off, you let them miss the same thing you did and do that the 11th round like you did the last time. You let them miss a lot, step it up, but push it through after that. Okay? Push the damn right hand through.
11 and 12, baby. You're here this night.
You got 2 rounds, man. 2 rounds to get what means this much to you.
Combination punches on the inside, man.
You got to have faith in God that you can go out this 100% for 2 rounds, and you can do it. 100%. You're a workhorse. Let's go see it now. Don't take anything off. 3 minutes of work.
3 minutes of work. Let's go, buddy.
CompuBox numbers in round 10. Lewis landed 23 out of 44 punches. Holyfield 9 out of 34.
Does Holyfield have 6 intense minutes that his corner is asking him for?
He's got bounce in his feet at this point.
Yeah, what a fighter this guy is.
Straight left for Holyfield. Lewis landed a right hand earlier.
I mean, he's 37 years old.
What a man he is.
37 years old and without a real big punch. You know, there have been older fighters that have done well because they had a big punch. But to work at the high energy level he needs to, because he's a small heavyweight, he's just a remarkable guy.
Holyfield busting Lewis to the body with the left hand and then trying to get upstairs. Holyfield showing much more energy here in the 11th than he showed in a seemingly weary round 10.
Ooh, good body shots by Lewis.
And a quick left hook inside by Lewis. Landed flush. Holyfield takes a punch so well.
When Lewis goes out and jab and steps around, he has this fight won. Whenever he takes his trainer's advice, getting in there, that's when things turn around.
All right, break, step back. Watch your head, watch your head, watch your head. Step back, let go. Hey, step break, step back, let's go.
Well, Lewis is just standing on the mound, pitching now.
Break, break. Let go. I'm in here.
And when Holyfield comes forward, Lewis leans forward and pops him with that uppercut.
Okay, he's on the mound like a pitcher, and he just stands there and does whatever he wants.
Ooh, hard left hook by Holyfield.
Break.
You heard Emmanuel Stewart a couple of rounds ago telling Lennox Lewis the fight is close. Don't mess around in there.
He stands on his mound, and those body shots hurt.
Right hand by Lewis. Holyfield misses his left.
Watch your hands. Break. Watch your hands.
Lewis is better try to put everything to rest and win this round.
Combination by Lewis. Holyfield lands a big right hand in return.
Easy. Let go. Step back. Let go, Evander.
You can believe when Evander gets hit, he's going to hit you back.
Closer than New York.
Let go.
Much closer in terms of energy and the kind of effort the two fighters are putting forth. But still, Lewis throws more and lands more in almost every round.
Break. I'm in here. Don't fight.
Will the judges see it that way? Blood on the bridge of Lewis's nose.
Let him up. Don't punch.
The cut outside Lewis's eye from the butt early in the fight has never begun bleeding again. 4 punches land for Lewis. Holyfield can't get one in. Lewis jabbing and bouncing now. His energy coming back.
Let go. Let him up.
Yeah, Holyfield is cut.
Yep, blood on the left cheek of Evander Holyfield. Might have come from one of those right uppercuts.
One more round.
That's not bad at all. 1 round to go. Hardly need to do anything with it.
Come on, let's cool him off real good.
Put your head on.
Last round, Evander. Last round.
You don't have to worry about holding nothing back. Let it go, okay? You got to fight, I believe, but I'm not sure. But you got to win this last round, Lennox. You know what it did last time just to get a draw.
Gotta win it.
Okay, but got to win.
Stay smaller than you. That's all you got to do. You don't let him off the hook when you get him in trouble. You can do it. You let him on the
real deep this round. Hit them combinations.
Let's get up. Come on, let's get up. Come on.
We get ready for the 12th round. 3 points. Lennox Lewis has never lost a decision. Evander Holyfield has never had a 12th round knockout. And if Lewis wins, he's the first unified British heavyweight champion since Bob Fitzsimmons in 1897. Harold Letterman with Lewis ahead by 5. I'll bet you anything, all 3 official judges have it closer than that. Just a guess.
This has been a close fight.
I'm not saying I disagree with Harold's card. Just that I'm betting it's closer than that on the official
Evander's got
card.
some thunder on those punches, I'm telling you.
Watch your head.
Lewis just doesn't seem to respect Evander Holyfield's power. He hits him hard, he just drops his hand and walks right through it.
Let go.
What should the two fighters be doing in this round, George?
Evander's got to pull it out. He just can't sit there and box this round. He's got to fight. If ever you're going to fight, this is the fight of your life fight.
Lewis stuck the jab in Holyfield's mouth, then just missed with the right hand. Holyfield trying to put the pressure on. Uppercut lands for Evander. Lewis slightly staggered. Now he looks to land his right. Evander with a lot of energy here in the 12th. Lennox seeming to try to load one big shot. Now he goes back to the jab. Lewis throwing his punches sloppily here in the 12th round.
Head, that was your head going up. You okay? Go.
Minute and a half to go. Uppercut lands for Lewis. Crowd trying to chant Holyfield into yet another of his dramatic career moments. Holy, 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 they chant. Lewis trying to measure him in for an uppercut.
Lewis has got to fight. Just can't think about winning a decision.
This round is on the table for the taking. Nobody has made a big definitive statement in the first 2 minutes.
Don't punch. Keep it up.
If the fight is on the table here, if anything, Holyfield's had the better of it with sheer energy.
Lewis' corner told him, don't hold anything back.
He might not have anything to hold back.
Yeah, you always got something you wish you had done in the hotel room.
2 body shots by Holyfield. He sticks in a little uppercut. Lewis, in trying to land the one big shot, hasn't thrown enough punches in the 12th.
Lewis is holding on.
Right hand lands for Lewis.
Hits and
Again, he
holds.
ties Holyfield up inside. Lewis may think that he's won the fight and needs only to survive. We're going to find out in 5 more seconds of fighting. They fought a lot better fight this time, and the fans appreciate it.
I had Lewis winning the fight. Much better fight. Holyfield fought better. I thought Lewis won it.
You, George?
It was a close fight. And when you're in a close fight like that, you just got to wait for the judges.
Well, we already know who Harold Letterman thinks has won the fight. We'll get a look at his final scorecard in a few moments. In round 12, Holyfield landed 13 out of 46. Lewis landed 14 out of 35. So Evander was throwing more punches, and in the first minute of the round, he landed that right-hand shot and that left hook. And then later on in the round, a Holyfield uppercut landed flush. So even though the punch stat numbers were fairly even, and here's Tim Hallmark, Holyfield's longtime physical trainer, praying in Holyfield's corner during the course of that 12th round.
You just hope the judges are not swayed by what happened in the previous fight. Just score this fight the way it was tonight and the way it is tonight and forget about the past.
Do you have a winner in your head, George?
Yeah, it's a close fight this time. When a close fight, I'll go for either guy. But Holyfield did a lot better. If he had not had the stigma of that last fight, I think there wouldn't be any question that he could have pulled this off.
You think Holyfield might have won the fight, George?
If had not been for the original thing, you see.
A lot of people think that the way the first thing went would redound to Holyfield's advantage. Harold, how did you score it?
Well, Jim, after 7, it was a close fight. 4 rounds to 3. But 8, 9, 10, 11 belonged to Lennox Lewis. He landed the punches. He threw the shots. Better, cleaner punches at 8, 9, 10, 11. Evander pulls out the 12th. 8 rounds to 4. 116, 112. Lennox Lewis.
All right, let's find out who really won it from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Tonight, boxing crowns an undisputed heavyweight champion, as after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Jerry Roth scores at 115 to 113. Judge Chuck Joppa scores at 116 to 112. Judge at ringside, Bill Graham sees it 117 to 111. All 3 in favor of the winner and the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis.
Fireworks,
Had to
confetti.
be wondering why in the world would he be doing this fight in a second time anyway.
I think they got it right this time, George. I believe Lewis was the winner. I think that those scorecards, matching fairly closely the Harold Letterman scorecard, were faithful to the action in the fight. I think we can all be happy that we got legitimacy here tonight. And now let's go to Larry Merchant in the ring with the undisputed heavyweight champ.
All right, thank you, guys. Congratulations, Lennox. You had some anxious moments after this fight, understandably. What were you thinking about before they announced the decision?
Well, I was concerned because it went to the decision. I was really concerned because, you know, I realized that he wasn't doing any work in the beginning of the rounds, and he was trying to steal at the end of the round. So I didn't know what the judges were looking for. So I was trying to bide my time and score the points at the same time.
he hit you with more shots in this fight, some clean shots in the middle of the fight. He seemed to daze you for a moment. Were you ever seriously hurt?
No, I wasn't hurt. I was just playing. I was playing because I wanted him to sap his energy a bit. And it worked for a couple because I realized he was breathing after that.
What did he do to make this a more difficult fight?
Well, you know, when I was jabbing him, he was just coming in with his head and trying to get in close with his head. So I was concerned about his head, at the same time backing up and trying to score my points.
So you were not able to control the fight with your jab as you did last time because he jabbed more, because he came inside more, and so you had to engage him in more exchanges in this fight?
Yeah, when I was exchanging with him, he was keeping his head low and he was coming in straight with his head straight. So it was hard for me to engage some shots. At sometimes I would just move him to the side and throw off a combination. I was trying to catch him with the jab as he was coming in.
As we're standing here, 6,500 British fans traveled 5,000 miles to witness this moment. What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking I got to go on with all the belts, for real. With all these fans coming here to support me, I got to pull it out. So I had to push myself and get in there and really, really dig down.
The first unified heavyweight champion from Britain in a century. What do you think this will do for your legacy as a fighter, for the respect you have tried to win over the last decade?
I think, I went through some trials and tribulations, and, enough people were trying to stop me. The Americans didn't want me to take it over the Atlantic to Britain, but I actually persevered and succeeded.
Will you come back to America to defend your title?
Yeah, because the money's big over here. I realize the casinos are paying big money, but I might fight one fight over in Europe first and make everybody come over there.
What are you going to do to celebrate tonight?
I'm just going to chill out, really. I don't really overdo it. I know a lot of people are going to want to talk to me and see me, and I'm just going to relish the moment.
Thank you very much. We relish this fight.
Yes, big up IRFM, our crew. Big up. Yes.
Jim.
All right, Larry Merchant. Lennox Lewis celebrates victory in a fight that was statistically closer than its predecessor in New York. Total punches, Evander Holyfield only slightly better in both categories than in New York. Lewis not quite as good. Jabs, and Lewis's jab disappeared for much of the second half of the bout. Lewis considerably worse and Holyfield better here than in New York. But in power punches, this time the edge belonged to Lennox, who landed 34 more power punches than Evander, threw 5 more, connected at a higher percentage. At the end of the day, it was probably these numbers that prompted the judges to give him the fight. Now Larry Merchant stands by with Evander Holyfield.
Evander, in those moments waiting for the decision after what happened in March, what were your thoughts at that time? Did you think you had won the fight, or did you just not know how the decision was going to go?
Well, the fact is, first of all, I want to thank the Lord, and He's good, His mercy. Lord give victory, and man give decision, but we have to live with Him. But in the front of the decision stuff, I did all that I could. I wasn't judging the fight, and like I said, my words don't twist. When things fall into the hands of the judges, the judge make a decision to who they want to get.
What do you believe in your heart and your head about the decision?
Well, it's hard to say. The fact is that I go in there and I don't reserve the fight. I do all that I can while I'm there.
How did you make this a more competitive fight than the last one in the eyes of many of us?
Well, the fact is that I was able to take away the jab. I didn't get hurt by the jab, and I was able to engage the jab and to be able to know that McCona tell me all he's trying to do make you make the first move where he can just pop shots. But I was able to count off his pop shots.
So did that mean that he had to come in and stand in exchange with you, which is what you wanted?
Well, he did, and
do you give him credit for that? Because you have said in the past, well, he might not be all that willing to exchange.
Well, the thing is that Leonard, my whole thing, I'm always give the fighter that I fight credit. That man did all that he could. It's not like he have anything to do with the decision no more than the fight himself. And he was able to come back when I hit him some shots. I felt that I hurt him a few times. He was able to rattle it back. As I feel that the fight was more of a competitive fight than the last fight.
Did his uppercuts hurt you because he seemed to throw a lot of them inside.
Well, you know, no, because he would hit me on the glove a lot of time, but with all this.
Now here's Howard. Here tonight. So we're underway in the first round. Holmes has that long left. He uses it like a pistol. Doesn't have the that used to be large. Sonny Liston is not a knockout puncher or considered to be. But the left keeps getting in there, keeping the opponent at bay. And increasingly difficult to penetrate as the rounds pass. Wild swing by Evangelista. Nothing. Holmes. See that left? Tremendous reach advantage for Holmes. What you notice about Holmes almost immediately in the light of his great improvement over the last year is how purposeful he is, how he's so sure of what he's doing, knows what he's about. You see him pick off the Evangelista right with his glove, handed fighter. Moving down to the belly with a right. With a right as Evangelista tried to pour to the midsection with a left. Evangelista, to do anything in this fight, would have to bull his way inside. We're a minute 45 seconds into the first round. Right there, Evangelista scored, doubling up on the left. First to the belly and then to the face. But Holmes keeps perfectly using that left. Evangelista trying to counter, but not successful. When you throw blows the way Evangelista, on the few he's thrown in this round, that way, up in the air, you're off balance. The blows don't have anything. You also use an awful lot of energy, windmilling. He did score with the left. We're approaching the end of the first round. No damage done, but clearly an easy round for Larry Holmes. His left jab, the principal weapon. The first round, Larry Holmes scoring impressively with a right at the sound of the bell. Now we're into action in round two. And Evangelista being told in his corner, you've got to get inside. May be easier said than done. Well, Ernie Shavers couldn't do it, and Kenny Norton couldn't do it.
Norton couldn't do it for 7 rounds. That's Keith Jackson, of course, with me at ringside. He called the Aguayo victory, a 15-round decision over Arturo Leon, a game Mexican lad. And Kenny Norton in 2 minutes and 42 seconds of the 3rd round with a crunching left hook did away with young Randy Shields. Those who thought Norton was on the precipice of losing his vigor and strength because of age were widely surprised tonight. Kenny never looked better. Good right uppercut by Ernie Holmes. Larry Holmes. Ernie Holmes was number 63 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's gone. Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes. Apparently willing to mix it up a little bit here. You saw how Evangelista amateurishly left himself open. A wild swing, a miss, a waste of energy, and then off balance, thus receiving the Holmes right in retaliation.
That's it, Jan. Keep it in space. 2.
I think Larry's willingness to go flat-footed and trade with him is disdain for the challenger.
I do, too.
Of course, Evangelista has never been knocked out. Again, you saw that uppercut. And Evangelista with a fleshy face, if Holmes keeps connecting like that, you'll find that getting puffy along about the 5th round. Evangelista won the European Championship by knocking out a Frenchman, Lucien Rodriguez, in the 11th round. Evangelista's left caught Holmes on the shoulder. He does not punch with precision, purposefully, as Holmes seeks to do. Coming to the end of the 2nd round, we have had only flashes of action in the 2 rounds. Holmes dominant, the uppercut scoring effectively. He leaves himself wide open for it when he does get inside. The 3rd round just underway. Holmes, a very coachable fighter, and that coachability registered in his improvement over the past 2 years. 3rd round, and he's been well prepared for this fight in terms of using that uppercut at the appropriate time. See that left, flick in there.
All right, be first, man. Be first, man. Don't wait. Be first. Be first.
There is one danger, though, in lulling yourself into a flat-footed fight like this. You might very well get careless and give an opportunity to a fighter like Evangelista. That's why the champion's corner is yelling at him, be first, use that left hand. He has enough power in it to be an adling sort of a thing, but you see the challenger comes whipping in.
Yes, he comes whipping in, but he doesn't score, Keith, because Larry picks off most of the blows with his gloves. Evangelista, if you remember, kept coming at Ali, who, as I said earlier in the telecast, was hopelessly out of shape the night he fought Evangelista, and won a lackluster decision against Evangelista. There's Holmes scoring 3 times in a row with the left. Again, Evangelista must seek to get inside, but when he does, he's wide open for the right uppercut. And Holmes has used that effectively twice. Holmes right there with an excellent right to the left jaw of Evangelista. Holmes keeping him at bay with that left, sometime using it just flyingly in the manner of Ali. Of course, Larry once was Ali's sparring partner a number of years ago. Larry is not using himself up. He is staying flat-footed. Again, the right uppercut. There's no dancing, no lateral movement from Holmes thus far in this fight. He hasn't found it necessary.
Yeah, he hasn't needed it.
That's right. You fight Shavers who can punch, or Norton, who's a quality fighter, you got a different problem and you use different tactics. But here, totally confident. In effect, he's taking batting practice. So we're coming to the end of the 3rd round, won by Larry Holmes. We're back for the start of round 4 and what has been a perfectly dull fight. Totally dominated by Larry Holmes. Now, for the first time, you see the movement I've been looking for. He is dancing on his toes, side to side, and Evangelista dancing with him. However, Evangelista doesn't quite do it with the almost liquid of Mr. Holmes, who, however big he is, has twinkle toes. Round 4 underway. Don't forget, tomorrow. Oh, a good right lead by Larry. Caught Evangelista. Evangelista getting the puffiness that I expected under each eye. Larry trying to move in, work him over, register more punishment. He took 3 rounds to do things one way, and now he's doing him another way. Don't forget the big clash tomorrow. Number 1 rated Oklahoma against number 4 rated Nebraska. NCAA college football, a showdown between the two great powers of the Big 8. And so much at stake. Bowl bid, top national rank. Oklahoma with the extraordinary Billy Sims. 3 games in a row, he's rushed for over 200 yards. And if he does it a 4th time, he will have set a new NCAA college record.
He really is something to watch. Just absolutely exciting.
Right now, Larry Holmes, good combination. Scoring virtually at will. You saw that left get in there. And another. And another. Doing just about what he wants with the opponent. This is the 4th round. And so far, it's a wipeout. Holmes has cleanly won every round. Well, we're coming to the end of the 4th round, and a little bit more of this, and I would think we might have done better replaying the Holmes-Norton fight. 4th round. Little action, really. Just the incessant tattooing of Evangelista by Holmes, mostly with the left. We're underway in round 5, between rounds. Evangelista's corner worked over his right eye. The puffiness that I suggested a couple of rounds ago, already there. The eye beginning to swell, taking the brunt, as you see there, of the Holmes left jab. It's a stinging punch. It's not a light jab.
All night, Jim, all night.
You hear the corner of Holmes all night, Larry. As you watched Holmes just pawing with the left a couple of seconds ago. Remember how Ali did that to Liston back in 1964 when he won the crown? It was Cash Clay then, of course. Larry just pawing. Somebody in the crowd yelled, "Forget it," and one can't help feeling that way watching this. The referee is having an easy time of it. He's reappeared. Richard Greer, the third man in the ring. Holmes, no movement this round. A change of style, flat-footed. He will fight patiently if it means going 15 rounds. Evangelista trying to get in, left himself open to the Holmes right. Again, the uppercut. But the crowd is aroused because Evangelista is trying to fight. Go at him, go at him, go at him. Now Evangelista back against the ropes. And you saw him miss with the left. Holmes is very purposeful, methodical. Any questions about Evangelista's physical fitness before the fight should be put to rest here and now. The man certainly appears to be. And in that last wild flurry where he sought to get inside and do damage, he certainly showed vigor and strength, energy. We've got not a bad catcher either. We've got 30 seconds left in the 5th round. Remember, Holmes, though he has 19 KOs, is not per se a knockout puncher. It takes rounds of accumulated punishment rendered unto the opponent for Larry to score a knockout or a TKO. We're coming to the end of the 5th round.
I'll have a natural
You know, the term natural is an appropriate simplification for Anheuser-Busch Natural Light.
Sure, because it's simpler.
No, because natural, smooth, clean taste results from natural ingredients and slow natural aging.
You know, you're very observatory.
Here's perfection in the art of brewing, cultural trait data.
The bell for the 6th round. Between rounds this time, they repaired a cut under Evangelista's left eye. Under, not over, so a flow of blood will not be a problem. But that left cheek all puffed up. And we've already told you the right eye is puffed too. That's accumulative punishment that I talked about in the 5th round. See that eye? The left eye? See the redness in the cut under it?
All right, put it in there. Right to the body, man. Right to the body.
When Evangelista swings and misses wildly like that, and then tries to barrel in, that's when Holmes inevitably goes to the uppercut. And he has used the uppercut at least 5 times tonight, every time effective.
Don't let him get off. Two punches. Feet first.
Once again in this round, Holmes is fighting flat-footedly. Only in the 4th round did he show the movement that he has shown against Norton and Shavers. We've explained why he doesn't even feel the need in this fight. He is using Evangelista as a sparring partner. Nothing more, nothing less.
I think you said it'll be accumulation of punishment that ultimately may stop the fight before it travels the distance.
Right.
But I think we might very well be looking at a second successive shutout.
Certainly is a shutout thus far. Larry going to the belly as Evangelista tried to play rope-a-dope. We've got 55 seconds left in the 6th round. Then a repeat, facsimile of the prior 5 rounds. Evangelista again with the rope-a-dope. That right got through. That one missed. 30 seconds left. I think Holmes would like to knock him out to show some folks that he does have a knockout punch. Evangelista putting on thus far and absolutely nothing showing as we approach the end of the round. Out of the 7th round, I use the word action advisedly, measuredly, because Evangelista has given us none of it. Holmes is now on his toes, and for the 2nd time in the fight has changed his tactics, showing movement. Holmes has been, as you've seen, scoring simply at will. An evening's workout. I'd like to alert our local stations along the line that at the end of this round, we will take a station break. Eddie Mahfouz in Evangelista's corner is holding his head low and just shaking it. Openly embarrassed by what's been going on. Puffiness grows under each Evangelista eye. Holmes proved his ability to go 15 tough rounds against Norton and 12 against Shavers. So going 15 should be no problem for him, especially at this kind of pace, which he's setting at his own women fancy.
the man, and he is really trying hard to put him away. But he,
well, I think he got him, Harry, right there. That should be the start of something big. Oh, he's out. It's over. Right, flashing right, and look at Evangelista. So it happened in the 7th round. I don't have the official time yet. Just as we were saying, Holmes wanted to prove that he could hit. It happened at 2 minutes and 14 seconds of the 7th round. And so, Larry Holmes, in a doleful fight based upon the total ineptitude of Evangelista, remains the WBC heavyweight champion. But Larry did what he wanted to do. He knocked the opponent out. Now we'll try and get Larry Holmes over here. All right, let's look at that knockout again. Now Holmes measuring the opponent. And he got the right in there, and down went Evangelista, right between the gloves. That was the blow he wanted to get in.
it was a crushing right hand. It appeared that Evangelista had his guard up sufficiently, but the right hand at it with such velocity that he went right through it and landed flush on the side of the head. And down the challenger tumbled, and it took some time to get him up, and he is still very groggy.
He can regain. You know, I don't know if anybody's really convinced about that, but I guess you got to believe it first before anybody else will.
That's right, and when you were one of the dominant, champions in the history of the heavyweight division, like he was in the 70s and 80s, you have to believe in yourself, and I think that, he's got that kind of confidence in himself. So he believes that's why he's started this comeback, looking for another shot at a title.
Here he is entering the ring. Larry Holmes, and the crowd is giving him much deserved round of applause. There it is, 50-3, and Michael Greer 41-11-3. Michael Greer's no spring chicken. He's 35 years of age. Go up to ring announcer John Nolan for the introduction of our main event.
Your next bout for today, 10 rounds of boxing, the heavyweight division. First in the blue corner, home Memphis, Tennessee, with a record of 41-11-3, 27 KOs. At 200 pounds in the white black trunks, Michael Greer. And in the red corner, hailing from Easton, Pennsylvania, with a record of 53-35 KOs, weighing in at 238.5 pounds in the red and white trunks, the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, on the road back, Larry Holmes. Your referee for today's bout, Carl J.J. Johnson. And now pre-fight instructions from Johnson.
There's a look at J.J. Johnson. And we have Larry coming in at 238. Michael Greer coming in at an even 200. And Michael Greer told me he will not be intimidated and he will not be thrown around the ring. We'll see if that's true or not. Tell the tape.
There is a huge advantage in reach by Larry Holmes, height, and if he uses it the way he did in his prime, this should be an easy night for him.
Larry Holmes says he has to turn a little more puncher as opposed to the slick boxer he was there. He defended his world title some 20 times. Only world heavyweight champ to defend it more, the bomber, Joe Louis. See if Larry's got it. goes after Michael Greer. Michael Greer is an interesting gentleman, as we said, 41 and 11, and according to himself and his trainer-manager, Red Fortner, they've been set up to fight Michael Moore a couple times, but Moore pulled out with bad shoulders. And also George Foreman was supposed to fight Michael Greer on occasion, 3 times according to the Greer corner, but that fell through as well. So he's getting a shot at stardom. He takes out Larry Holmes. He can pretty much put his name on the map. 35 years of age is Michael Greer. Hasn't fought since January. Larry Holmes very much criticized for his last bout. That down in Tampa, Florida, Eddie Gonzalez. As a matter of fact, the Boxing Commission of Florida actually had to defend the former champion in saying that Eddie Gonzalez, who came in at a roly-poly, and I use that term very loosely, 249 pounds, was not there to fight, but just to survive. Let's see what Michael Greer's got. Larry Holmes has already landed a big right hand.
Big right hand, and Greer's legs buckle a little bit. You can see the old flashes are still there. I mean, he's got that great jab. It's not as fast as they used to be, but I think that if he takes the weight off, it'll regain a lot of his quickness.
The jab is definitely there, not as snap-like, but Larry's, like you said, he has to transform a little bit. He's got to fight a little more flat-footed. He doesn't have that spring in his legs. The jab can be there in flashes, but he's going to have to do more damage with that right hand, and I think he's going to come to grips with that. He's going to be a busy man, he said, for the next couple months. Wants to fight at least once every 3 weeks, sometimes twice a month. Do the George Foreman Victory Tour, build up his KO mark, and then get some marketability. He's been bannered about maybe going to fight Riddick Bowe, but we understand that Holmes camp has no intention of doing that unless the money is there, as we heard in his interview, as we are in round number 1 of our main event. Michael Greer, 35. Larry Holmes, 41. And we're in Honolulu on Prime Network. Hugh Millay and Carlos Palomino. Yeah, there's the flashes of the hand speed there, Carlos.
Oh, definitely there. And I think that with the condition, more condition, a little bit less weight on, and his hand speed will be a little quicker. And he's, like you say, he has to sit down a little bit more because he's not going to have that leg strength he had before. But if the hand speed is there, power will come.
We're nearing the end of round number 1, and it looks like Michael Greer might be getting on his bike here just a little bit to try to figure out the former champion. It's scheduled 10 rounds. I don't think Larry intends to go that deep, but we'll find out. We'll come back with all the action. Round number 2 from Honolulu on Prime Network. Round number 2, Michael Greer in the black trunks. Larry Holmes has fought something like 50 times in his career. He's made something like $50 million in person. He's made a little money. He says he doesn't need it. He's coming back. He says he likes the sport, but he also wants to make more money. You know, that's Larry. He's a straight shooter. He doesn't pull any punches. We'll see if he pulls any today.
He came out a little bit more serious this second round. And there's that left hand. And
Michael Greer is going to have to sacrifice a little bit to get inside, Carlos, because he certainly has given up the 7 or 8 inches in reach. And nobody in his career, at least in the heavyweight division, used that reach more to his advantage than this gentleman, Larry Holmes.
You can see that straight up and down with the left, coming out with that left hand comes out very quickly. There's the right hand. And Michael Greer is going to have to stay inside or try to do some damage inside, because where he is now, it's not going to last long.
He's going to have to sacrifice just a little bit to get inside.
There he is.
He's trying, but Larry, as he said, and Mike Greer putting the hurt on the champion. The best flurry for Michael Greer has already got a bloody nose.
And the problem also when he gets inside is that Larry's so much stronger, he just grabs him and holds him.
Yeah, and you know, Greer was afraid of that when we had talked with him the past couple of days. He's got to figure out a way to get away from that, but so far he has not. And probably the best place he should not be is against the ropes.
Well, he got his hands loose in that exchange, and he landed some good shots. And that's what he's got to do. Like right now, he's got to be punching. He can't be just standing there holding.
Midway through round number 2, and first round pretty much going to Larry Holmes. This round a little flurry by Michael Greer, although he still does have that kind of respecting the punching power, maybe just a little too much, but I guess you almost have to when you're giving up 40 pounds. Greer trying to lure him in. That's a big target, Michael. 238 pounds of Larry Holmes coming at you. The jab's still there in flashes. He broke a lot of hearts with that jab, broke a lot of noses as well. Trying to work on that combination, got a 3-punch combo in there.
The right hand, jab, right hand, and the left hook to the body was the only punch that landed, but it was a really good hook.
One thing you can say about Larry Holmes, he didn't duck anybody. Ernie Shavers twice, Burbick, Witherspoon, Snipes, Cooney, Williams, Leon Spinks, Michael Spinks, Mike Tyson. He took them all on. When his first 48 fights included 20 title defenses. The gentleman has certainly made his mark on the boxing world. We'll see if he's got anything left in the coming months as he wraps up round number 2 with Michael Greer. We'll come back with round number 3 with Larry Holmes stalking. You're watching Boxing. The road back with Larry Holmes on Prime Network. Round number 3, Larry Holmes, the former world heavyweight champion, going to get serious. Here's Michael Greer just getting serious. And J.J. Johnson saying, step back, boys. Let's see some good boxing. Michael Greer was alerted of this fight about 7 days ago, so his preparation might be somewhat limited as far as scouting, but Larry Holmes is not the Larry Holmes he was back in 1973 through 1985 when he dominated the heavyweight division. Actually, 77 through 85, he was the world champion. Greer looking to pick a shot. Almost 16 years to the day Larry Holmes is in Hawaii as he took out a 10-rounder of Charlie James. Today it's Michael Greer. Larry looking a little bit perturbed, Carlos.
Yeah, he is. He's a little upset. Yeah. He can't do what he wants to do. And that's because Greer is not giving him the opportunity. He's crouching down low, giving him the minimal target. That's a good idea.
Eddie Gonzalez did pretty much the same thing. Eddie was a little bigger target, a little wider.
There's a jab.
You know, Larry feels very strongly by October. He feels strongly that if he continues his progress in the gym and during these fights, that he could jump in to the world title picture. By the way, the World Boxing Council, we see a big body shot to the midsection of Greer.
Greer tells them they didn't hurt. Oh, and there's another one.
Big body shots by Larry Holmes, and Greer really coming in and going after Larry Holmes. Punching away, taking some. Oh, yeah. Larry is a little stunned there.
Greer coming to fight.
Greer saying, come on. He's a volunteer from Tennessee. Let's do it. You figure this one out, Carlos. The WBC currently has Larry Holmes ranked number 9. You know, I think they'll figure out a cure for the common cold before they figure out boxing ratings.
You got that
This guy hasn't fought for 3 years, and he's rated at number 9 with the WBC. Holmes just missing a big combination.
Exactly. California Commission's going to take over.
The jab is still there and still lethal. Carlos currently serving as the commissioner on the California Athletic Commission boxing.
Well, there's a lot of problems. I think we can make some progress here in that. Big left hook by Greer.
He nailed Larry Holmes, and Larry's a little wobbly there.
A little wobbly and breathing through his mouth.
This is turning into quite a fight here. Round number 3. I'll tell you, Michael Greer is kind of easing into this opportunity as we get a look at the corner of Michael Greer, and Red Fortner's the guy that does his corner work. We'll see if we take a look at some of the action from round number 3. The body shots here.
That's a right hand to the head of, and he turns him around. Greer is doing a good job. There's another right hand. Another right hand that lands.
Michael Greer had a superb flurry there.
Crouch down, bang. There's a left hook right over the top of the right hand, and it buckled. His knees buckled there. He got hurt.
And he was a little bit upset. He's Larry Holmes. There's a look at the corner of Red Fortner. Red Fortner is the corner man for Michael Greer, who flew in from Tennessee to seize his big opportunity. And Larry Holmes better knows this is. You're not talking about Eddie Gonzalez. Larry knows that. And he's coming looking to get a little serious.
Larry looks serious now. I think they told him in the corner, you got to go out and get this guy out of there before he
Big
gets
combination. You know, in many of his fights, the Shavers and some other fights, it was almost when Larry would get put down on the mat that he would suddenly get the wake-up call. But Michael Greer on the attack. Big left, and he's going after it. He's rocked Larry Holmes.
He just rocked him with the right hand.
Larry Holmes is in trouble. Is holding on. This is turned into quite. Larry Holmes is not going to touch gloves. Michael Greer is here to win a fight.
Let's get it on.
The crowd is really getting into this one.
Oh, look at Larry.
Larry.
He could get hit.
It's like looking at Michael Greer like a bad stepchild. The jab is there.
He's talking to him, too.
He is talking to him. Come on, he wants to bring it on. The hands down by the waist. Holmes is now taking some big shots. I guess that's what you get when you get Larry.
Oh, that's right. And there it is. Oh!
Big shot. Larry Holmes getting a little bit upset. Unbelievable. He is out. Michael Greer did the unthinkable. He got Larry Holmes there.
He took a dive on that one, head first into the mat.
He is still rocked. There's the former champion. We're talking about a minute into round number 4. Larry Holmes, after getting rocked around the clock, gets mad, then gets even. There's Michael Greer, who went face down into the mat. Hey, hats off to Michael Greer. He put on quite a display of courage. He came to fight. He was there to lay down like Eddie Gonzalez. Larry Holmes, as we take a look at the replay, see Carlos getting ready and right. See Larry just stalking Michael Greer and then pounding him with the right, another right, just loading up on that right hand. Body shot. Another body shot, and then he's going to hit him with the overhand right, and then one for good measure coming up right there, and down went Michael Greer. As we take a look, and he went face down. To say that Larry Holmes is in a bad mood, don't have dinner with Larry tonight. There's the right that got through. Michael Greer stopped punching and then went face down. Big knockout for Larry Holmes. Win number 51 in his career. Knockout number 36. The crowd really got into it, but certainly hats off to a very game Michael Greer, who really had Larry on the run. Number 2 and 3. Up to John Nolan for the announcement of the official time of the KO. We will get back to John in just a second. But now let's check in with John for the official time.
Your winner, 118 of the 4th round by KO, on the road back, Larry Holmes.
We will take a timeout. We'll come back from Honolulu with an interview with a very upset but victorious Larry Holmes after this. Prime Network Boxing continues. Knockout of Michael Greer. With him in the ring, Carlos Palomino.
First of all, Larry, congratulations on an exciting win for you. Did you expect this from this guy?
No, I've never seen him fight. I expected him to come out there to try to surprise me, which he did with his style. It's very awkward. And so I wanted to get used to that a little bit. You know, I wanted to try to fight guys that I don't know nothing about and see what I can do with it, you know. And because I'm a champion, I fight anybody.
It seems like he got a little upset in this round. He landed some punches. We're going to show you this. Can you tell us what you were talking to him about?
Well, you know, we clinched and he kept fighting. He kept hitting me behind the head. He done it several times before the round. I mean, before that round. And I asked him to don't do it no more. And so he made me mad, and I said, okay, you want to fight? I'm getting your ass out of here. And that's what I wanted to do. So I got mad. Take anything he got, bring it. If you got anything, show it to me. So I just started banging away. Simple as that.
Well, it showed that you banged him with that right hand. He just took a dive down. So what do you see yourself happening now?
Well, I'm fighting again on USA. That will be September the 17th. probably in Orlando, Florida. We don't care who we fight. You know, prices dictate, and I'm not in this game to be a clown or a show like a lot of other fighters are. I'm taking this game seriously, and I'm going back to the top to be that champion once again.
The right hand that you landed, did you expect him to go the way he did? We're going to show it to you here.
Of course, you know, because I hit him harder than I hit anyone with that right hand. If I hit Gonzalez with that right hand a couple of weeks ago, he'd have won. I hit him real good to the body and real good to the head. And he had to go. He couldn't take too much of that. I put whole 238 pounds behind that punch, and he could not stand up against that.
Well, that was a vicious right hand, and you could tell that by the way he went. You've had another fight, and how far do you see yourself off before maybe one of the top 10 guys?
Well, you know, money dictates who I fight, and right now we're fighting here for peanuts to get our way back to the top. But, excuse me, people offered me this guy named Riddick Bowe. You know, hey, I told him bring the dollars. Fine, I knocked Riddick Bowe out too. As you know, George Foreman's another guy hoping he'd get a title shot. But I don't think the public wants to see George Foreman fight Evander Holyfield again if the Tyson fight don't happen. You know, they want somebody young and strong, and I still feel that I'm a young 41 years old, much younger than George Foreman, and I will be much better conditioned when that time comes. You know, right now I'm 238 pounds and I'm working hard. And with that time come, I'll be down to about 220-some pounds, ready, physically able to fight.
Okay, well, congratulations, and present